Hi, I am Siddiqui, and you are watching my YouTube channel and Facebook page. Today, we will talk about a cheap material, a material that is available everywhere. We will talk about charcoal, how we can use it as a growing medium to plant in, and how we can use it to disinfect any branch of any tree, no matter what kind, in a very quick way. By the way, charcoal is now being used to make facial masks. It's used in cosmetics, and they even make toothpaste from it. So its price is actually very high. Now, for those who don't know, charcoal is a material that results from burning wood. We need to distinguish between charcoal and ash. There is a huge difference between the two because I see a lot of people adding ash to the soil as a type of soil improver or fertilizer. But of course, this is very harmful. Anyway, let's see how we can use it for rooting cutings and also how we can use it in cultivation, especially for people who grow plants on rooftops, people who plant in barrels, people who plant in pots. Charcoal has really amazing benefits for them. After we ground the charcoal, as you can see, and made it almost like the soil we might plant in, the container we plant in must have drainage holes, as you can see, even if they're very small, because charcoal is one of those materials that doesn't decompose easily. It lasts for many years. And besides that, it doesn't harden its stage just as it is. So only a minimal amount of water will drain out through the drainage holes. That's why we want the drainage holes to be very small so we can retain the water. And we're going to use a plastic bottle, as you can see, to prepare it just like this, so we can protect the cutings from the elements. We'll also make a small opening at the top to provide a bit of ventilation for the cutings. And today we'll be using lemon cutings. As you can see, of course, we'll choose lemon cutings that are about 10 cm long because lemon cutings generally have a lot of buds, so the length doesn't really matter. And as you can see, these are medium branches, not terminal ones, and they are more than 3 months old. We can't use branches that are too young. And with that, we're going to use charcoal just like soil. But of course, the difference is that soil has the problem of causing rot in the cutings. Why is that? Because it contains fungal diseases and has poor water drainage. But with charcoal, none of that happens at all. Charcoal is considered a very powerful material rich in carbon, which helps the cutting root very quickly and prevents the spread of fungi that cause rot in the cutings. So we won't have any problems at all. And by the way, the cutings can actually be rooted using a completely different method. But this time, I prefer that we use charcoal as an alternative medium instead of soil. And then one of its most important advantages is that it's lightweight. So we can use it as an addition to the soil we're planting in, whether we're planting on the rooftop or even in balconies where we're concerned about the weight of the soil. And if you're planting in a transparent bottle or anything transparent with regular soil, you'll notice green algae starting to appear on the outside of the bottle. But with charcoal, it's impossible for algae to form or for that to happen at all. That is the activity of fungi inside the soil. And after we're done, as you can see, we'll start covering our cutings with a plastic bottle. By doing this, we've basically created a mini greenhouse. So we put these cutings in a shaded place away from direct sunlight and keep the charcoal moist. So whenever we feel that the charcoal is starting to dry out, we need to give it a little water. And this make use of the charcoal and benefit from this magical substance that will save us a lot and will also solve a lot of problems for us. If I'm planting on the rooftop, as you can see in a barrel, planting trees in a barrel, or even planting any small plant, I'll take the charcoal just as it is. For example, if I'm planting in a barrel, I can get about 2 or 3 kilos and put them at the bottom of the barrel. First of all, as we mentioned, charcoal is very light, so it will make drainage much more effective. Instead of putting gravel or anything else at the bottom of the barrel, which would add weight, of course, as we know, gravel is very heavy, so we'll benefit from using charcoal. Charcoal also absorbs the salts and impurities in the water, and it helps retain soil moisture for as long as possible. That's because it basically absorbs water and nutrients and holds on to them. And just so you know, more than 80% of the problems we face with plants are due to poor soil drainage. Whenever the soil has poor drainage, which is often due to a lack of drainage holes at the bottom, we end up with endless problems in our plants. Yellowing of the leaves, and a host of other issues that just keep coming. What's also important is how to use it. For example, if I'm about to plant any kind of plant, or even if I'm going to repot a plant into another pot, I have to get some charcoal, just like you see here. That is, their size should be medium, just crush them lightly and then start mixing them with the soil. This solves a lot of problems that we might not know about or notice. It greatly improves the fertility of the soil. And as we mentioned, it absorbs toxins and salts, and it greatly reduces the spread of fungal and bacterial diseases that affect the roots. And it provides good aeration for the roots. As long as the roots have good aeration and can breathe well, they spread out and help the plant grow quickly. The simplest example is if you have a water filter at home. When you open the cartridge after its lifespan is over, you'll find that some of the cartridge contains charcoal. This charcoal, of course, is used to purify the water and remove toxins and salts from the water we drink. And after 25 days, our cutings have no problems at all and no signs of rot. Thank God, the first signs have started to appear for us. These new growths, of course, are no proof that roots have emerged. The new growths appear first, and then the roots appear after a while. Of course, when it comes to watering, we should never let the charcoal dry out completely at any time. So it could be every day or every other day. The important thing is that the charcoal never dries out completely. And so we don't forget, the best time to propagate lemon trees is throughout the summer, except for June and July, because the temperatures are extremely high and the success rate is very low. And after 55 days, let's take a look at how the roots are doing. Of course, let's not forget that during the past period, as soon as the new small shoots appeared, we started to lift the cover of the nursery we had made. This is so the leaves can breathe properly and we don't deprive them of air. Because if we leave the bottle cap closed, there's a high chance the leaves will get scorched. So as soon as the delicate new shoots begin to visibly appear, it is absolutely crucial that we immediately and carefully remove the protective cover. This precise action is essential for their healthy development. That's right indeed, exactly. And with this meticulous approach, the overall success rate of propagation is, as you can clearly observe, truly and remarkably impressive, consistently yielding excellent results. And it provides good aeration for the roots.